the first camcorder that I ever got, and you can see it has the YouTube sticker on it, the old YouTube logo on it. It was a Panasonic camcorder, and it's the kind with the strap, so you can hold it in your hand like that. And then it has a flip screen, which was pretty big for this time, because this was like 2005 or 2006, I want to say, and YouTube had just come out, and I was in primary school, so I was quite young, but I knew even back then that I wanted to do YouTube. It was before most people were being paid by YouTube, but as an 8-year-old, I didn't really understand what like a job was or anything like that, so I talked my parents into spending, I think this was like $200. It has a 70 optical zoom on it, and I think that's the zoom. I had to get blue. I think it also came in pink, but I was a tomboy when I was younger, so I didn't want to get pink. I wanted to get blue. It doesn't really have like that many options on the wheel. I'm just like hoping that everyone else is as interested in cameras as I am, but that might not be true. I don't know. I will keep this forever because it just shows you that I've wanted to do YouTube since the beginning of YouTube, and this is probably going to be vintage someday. It's probably not going to be worth a lot of money because the quality is not great, but it holds a lot of memories for me personally. I might have to make a lot of cuts in this video because I'm not really sure how much noise me picking stuff up and putting stuff down is going to make. Okay, so the next trigger is an old CD case, and I only have it because it's full of CDs that I think are very nostalgic, again, especially if you were a child of the early 2000s. So there's High School Musical. I'm pretty sure this is the movie and not the soundtrack. Radio Disney. Radio Disney again. Radio Disney was also like one of the only radio stations that I was allowed to listen to as a child, just because they censored a lot of popular music, and I guess my parents did not want me to hear, certain words. More like Disney soundtracks, but they're not specifically for a movie, so I'm gonna skip those. Okay, this is my favorite cartoon of all time. Like, I never watched SpongeBob as a child, but I was obsessed either, so it takes me a minute to try to type out words when I'm using something like that. Also, the battery's dead in this anyway, so even if I did type out something, I couldn't show you guys. Yeah, it's a Neopet. It actually still works. The battery still works. I turned it off for ASMR purposes, but it lights up right here and it makes noises. I'm not sure what this one was called. It says Uni on it, so maybe it is Uni the unicorn. But I used to love playing Neopets, Club Penguin, Webkins. That was like the thing to do when I was in elementary school. So I still have this. I'm probably gonna be like one of those people that like keeps a bunch of stuff like this in the hopes that one day they'll be really valuable. Kind of like Beanie Babies, except Beanie Babies, I feel like a lot of people are trying to sell those online right now, and it kind of cuts down on the price of what it should have been. So yeah, it's a Neopet. I think Club Penguin was my favorite like online game back in the day, but Neopets and Webkins were definitely like close seconds. I'm gonna try to tap on this too. The wings move. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my next trick. So this is not something super old, however, it reminds me of Toadette from Mario, so I thought that I would bring it out. Plus, it is a mushroom fidget toy. It is candy. I don't really see these in ASMR videos, so I thought since it's sort of part of my brand, like I don't make these, but I love buying them from Etsy stores. So because it is sort of a part of my brand, because I've used these in multiple videos, and now I thought that I would bring it back and use any excuse that I could to feature them in videos. Mario and Animal Crossing are definitely the two video games that have like the most nostalgia for me. I don't own like a red mushroom, but if I did, I would totally put it in this video as well. I will make sure to link this down below. The rest of the stuff, there's no guarantees because a lot of it is older and probably not sold anymore. So the first one, going in chronological order, this is a Game Boy Advanced. I didn't have a Game Boy when they were popular, but a few years after like this came out, I did get a Game Boy. unfortunately I lost it, so I don't have it for this video. But for those of you who don't really remember Game Boy Advances, this is what they looked like. The graphics were very pixelated, and the games probably were not as interactive as video games are now, but something about, like, I guess you could call them vintage arcade games, even though, sorry, there's a piece of dust right there. Okay, I know technically this isn't like an arcade game, but the graphics were pixelated, so it makes me think of like old arcade games that were around before I was born. But the first through the third generations of Pokemon were my favorite, and I played a lot of Pokemon on this. I'm pretty sure Pokemon was like the only game that I played on the Game Boy Advance, and I was obsessed with Pokemon. And this actually has a Pokemon game in the cartridge or whatever you call that. I'm not like that much of a techie person for old stuff, but Pokemon Ruby, I loved this game. Actually, my cousin gave me this game, and you know, it still had all of his old information in it, and it actually had a Blaziken on level 100 in this game. So I had a lot of fun because I was quite a bit younger than him, so I had never had a Pokemon on level 100, and I was like amazed. So that is the Game Boy Advance. I love button sounds. You can tell that it's been loved. Like, I'm not really sure if all of the scratches are showing up, but it was very loved by me. Is the DSi. I also had a regular DS that was pink, but I'm pretty sure that I traded it to get this, although the trade-in value was not good. Like GameStop, anything that you traded at GameStop, you never got the value, like what it should have been worth. So this is the inside of the DSi. I was just amazed that it had a built-in microphone and that it had 2 cameras. Little did I know that iPhones one day would also have 2 cameras, so it's just like a normal thing. But at the time, it was like a huge deal to have 2 cameras. Obviously now there's like 4 cameras on all of the new phones, but that's besides the point, because this just reminds me of when that was like a brand new concept. So you can tell that this screen was also very, very loved. The styluses for these things just were not great for the screen. Like, I don't know, if you played this for hours like I did, you were gonna mess up the screen eventually. So I'm glad that phones don't have styluses like this. Like, that was a design flaw. I holder. And it's kind of sticky. I don't want to touch the stickiness just because I don't know what it is. It's just so old that it has residue on it, I guess. But I will tap it for you guys. I loved Club Penguin so much that I bought the Club Penguin DS game, and I was a little bit disappointed with it just because you couldn't do as much on the video game as you could on the website, but it's very nostalgic when I think about it today. This isn't like really loud, like jarring, but I'm sorry if it is. There's more gentle tapping. Leave in the comments which tapping you like the best. You like nail tapping or like finger tapping? I'm gonna move on to my final game case. This had Nintendogs, Harry Potter, Master Chef, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Oh, that's actually Jam Sessions, and that's actually Master Chef, but those were some of my favorite games. I especially loved playing Mario and Sonic with like family and friends. That was a great multiplayer game, kind of like Mario Kart. And then on the other side, we have Mario Kart, we have Mario Party, How to Train Your Dragon, Club Penguin, another Pokemon, and I can't read that on the camera. I don't remember that. That's the Battle of Dragons, but honestly I don't remember playing that at all. But the rest of those were some of my favorite games besides that one. I think I spent like the most time playing Nintendogs. Let me know what some of your favorite games were. I think mine were definitely Mario Party, Nintendogs, and Animal Crossing if I had to choose 3. Obviously, I had to include Parfum because I think Parfum is very nostalgic. So this is some juicy perfume that I got my freshman year of high school. I actually got it in Chinatown in New York, so I'm not 100% sure that it's real, but it smells really good and it's still nostalgic for me. This is one of my favorite ASMR sounds too, is glass tapping. Juicy. Okay, so this is something that I won in a giveaway my freshman year of college. Most of these triggers were from my childhood, but I did include some that were more recent. It says Coexist. I'm really passionate about learning about different Lilo and Stitch and Peter Pan were definitely my top 2 favorites. And then, I don't know, I wasn't really like a big princess little girl, but I did like Ariel because she was a mermaid and I was obsessed with mermaids. But yeah, I loved Peter Pan, I loved Lilo and Stitch. So yeah, that is my last trigger for you guys. I really hope that you enjoyed this haul and that it was as nostalgic for you as it was for me. If you liked this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel for more content sort of like this. I don't know, I'm probably gonna do more collection videos in the future, but I'm pretty sure this is like my second one on this channel. My first one was a fidget toy collection video, so if you're interested in that, then I will probably put it in the iCards or down below. I don't know, I might do both. It really depends on how exhausted I am after editing this video, because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to make a few cuts, but that is okay because I do this to help you guys sleep and maybe entertain you guys. So I wish